You're doing this stuff by yourself. Hot surprise. Are you feeling all relaxed? You know me? Are you feeling all relaxed? Because, you know, it's going to give you guys You've been.
I like high albums. I say I like them better than they're nicer. Even embassies.
We left you a message today.
Tell you about the ride and stuff.
We'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. Did you get a ride?
I did.
Okay, good. Yeah. So there's going to be, watch out for that. There's going to be a little rotation, and hopefully sometimes you'll be able to get a ride.
Okay.
But not every time. So I just wanted you to have that in general. No. Okay. All right, friends. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Welcome to what mostly our regulars and members, but very special night for Daphne Gordon, who will be coming bat mitzvah this weekend, and she and her two buddies from our Kita Zion class will be leading a lot tonight as well. We are going to begin by letting the heavens rejoice and the earth be glad on Yismach Hashemayim, page 6. Page 6. Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tageh haaretz, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Umelo, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam. We're going to go to page. Yes, we're going to page 12, Romamu. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtatvahu lehar kosho. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtatvahu lehar kosho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romamu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romamu. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kosho. Page 13, Mizmor LeDavid. Mizmor LeDavid, Al Adonai Merim, Amul Adonai, Kavod Ba'oz, Hayayna, Amul Adonai, Kevod Shemo Yishtachavul Adonai ve'Amra Kodesh, Kol Adonai, Amayim Dodi, Lecha Dodi. First two stanzas to one tune, and then the last two to the other. We skip the ones in the middle. Reading Shabbat as a Bride. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, Neshama Nekavela. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, Neshama Nekavela. Shamor V'Zachor V'Limor Echad, Yishme'anu El Hanuchad, Adonai Echad, U'Shemo Echad, L'Shem Tiferet V'Litilah. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, Neshama Nekavela. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, Neshama Nekavela. Likrat Shabbat Lechuven Elcha, Ki hi Mekor HaBracha, Merosh Yikedem Nesucha, So Ma'aseh B'Machshava Tchila. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Bottom of 17, Yaminu Smol, Tikrotzin, Et Adonai Tzaritzin, Adonai Shabbat Maitzin, V'nismecha V'nagila B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. We rise and face the entrance, welcoming the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzorah, tov emuneh al segula. Boi kala, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. And we say to any mourners on our midst, Hamakom Nechem Tok Shar V'Leo Tzio Yerushalayim. May God comfort you with all the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. And we are on page 19. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot Le'Adonai, U'Lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon, U'Lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Le'Hagid HaChoket V'Asnecha Ve'Emunatcha B'Leilot, Alei Azor Ve'Aleina, Alei Gadol Ve'Chinor. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot Le'Adonai, U'Lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon, U'Lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon. Continue on our own, pages 19 and 20. Tzadik atamar Yifra, Ka'eretz Balvanon Yizkeh Shetulim Bebeit Adonai Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yedun B'Seiva V'Shenim B'Ra'anan Please rise for the formal call to prayer of the Baruch Hu. We're going to invite Daphne and Eleanor and Naomi to come on up.
Face the ark. Face the ark.
Yeah, for this one, you do face the ark, it is true. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bivaro mari maramim Elchai v'kayam tamid imo chaleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai mari maramim 24 Page 25, Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom ha'levanecha v'shimantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'leitecha v'leftecha b'derech v'shofbecha v'gumecha v'sharta me'od al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot v'einecha u'chtavtam al mizot beitecha u'tisharecha. We'll continue on our own. Toward the bottom of page 29.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי,
והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. Page 32. Malchut Tov Ratzon Ki Eloheim Moshe v'Yashua Chadashah b'Simcha Rabah v'Yamru Kulam. Hi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai Mi Chamocha Nedar B'Kodesh Norat Regilo Osef Eleh Norat Regilo Osef Eleh Mahutcha Lanu Banecha Ogel Yam Mifnei Moshe This time we're starting. Hashivenu Adonai. Shlomecha, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'prei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, V'kol Yisrael, V'al Yerushalayim.
Amen.
We rise for the Sham. Please feel free to clap to the rhythm of the song. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'torah berit olam. B'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. And Naomi Neller, you can go down. We're going to let Daphne hit the center and lead us in Chatzi Kaddish.
Amen.
Private Amidah, pages 37 through 48. Say shalom v'roma, Uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kodesh v'telel, ve'imu. It's the short form of the repetition of the Amidah, page 49. By Achulu. Paul, you want to lead us in?
Yeah. Vayachulu hashamayim ve'haaretz v'chol tzevam vayachal Elohim hayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa vayishpon hayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa Vayavarech Elohim et Yom HaShavi Vayakadesh Oto Kivo Shavan Mikol Melachto Kivo Shavan Mikol Melachto Asher Bara Elohim La'asod Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora El Elyon Konei Shamayim La'aretz Hamagen Avod B'Davaro Amelech Meitim B'Ma'amaro Ha'el HaKadosh She'en Kamohu Ha'meniach Le'amo B'Yom Shabbat Kodsho Kivan Ratzah Le'aniach lahem Kivam Ratzah Le'aniach lahem Le'fanav navo V'yirav afachad V'nodeh lishmo B'chol yom tamid Me'ein ha'brachot Adon Hashalom Mekadesh HaShabbat Uvarech Navi Umenyach B'Kedusha Li'amei Zecher L'maaseh Bereshit Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Ritzei Nuchateinu Kadesheinu b'mitzvotecha v'tein chelkeinu b'toratecha Sabeinu mituvecha v'samcheinu b'shuatecha v'taher limeinu le'odecha Be'emet v'taher libeinu le'odecha Bechilenu Adonai Eloheinu b'yava uvratzon b'yava uvratzon Shabbat kodshecha v'yanu chuva Yisrael, Yisrael, Mekadshe Shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh Hashavat.
No, so Kaddish Shalem will be led by our bat mitzvah. Thank you, Paul.
Yep.
Well done, and looking forward to much more tomorrow. All right, so in our historical minute from the letters in the files, we're in a series of letters about the bat mitzvah ceremony and women being called to the Torah. And I will repeat this again just in case somebody is either watching or perhaps Andy Mossman or Larry Miller over here might know some of the answers to these things. There's a lot of controversy over who actually was the first bat mitzvah, whether it was an adult or a child. I've had at least 4 or 5 people claiming to be that person. Ranging from Toba Bernstein to Rachel Bratz, and that's just the ones that I can remember. So there are others as well. And anyway, we left off last week in the late 60s. Rabbi Harold Schulweis was trying to get the congregation to become egalitarian and have bat mitzvahs, but the problem was he was being strategic, and he tried to get someone on the education committee to bring it up because the first time it failed when someone whose daughter was 12 wanted it, and they, self-interest, so he tried to get the schools committee. I do know that he still lost despite his strategy, and that women were not called to the Torah during his time before he left in 1970. And I remember Agnes Pinkovic telling me he was so mad. He just didn't expect to really ever lose any battle, and he did lose that one. So now we're shifting to the next rabbi, who was Rabbi Leonard Kahan, except he's not the one writing the letters. It's done by the executive director, a man by the name of Alan Levinson. He's the one who is like pushing it forward. I know Kahan wanted, but maybe Kahan is being even more strategic, although it was among the many things that drove him to leave the congregation after just 2 years. Anyway, so Alan Levinson, the executive director, is writing a woman named Sandra Nappel in 1971. Dear Sandra, while it was at best an impromptu conversation we had outside the cantor's office the other day, it struck me hard enough to at least think about it some more. I feel you are absolutely right in wanting to have an aliyah on Shabbat morning, and I feel that you reflect the views of many other men and women on this matter. If you feel strongly enough to do something about what we spoke about, I would be willing to grant you the assistance of my office. So I'm going to help you, but I'm not running this thing. I've already sent for the Manual for Ritual Committee from the United Synagogue of America, as well as a guide for congregational standards, in addition to which I've written to the executive director of same organization asking for a policy statement. If you feel that this matter is worth pursuing, and I would hope that you would, there are a number of steps that would be necessary to establish a strong case. Find some women or men who are of the same persuasion as yourself and ask them to help you. Have someone make a survey of various conservative temples in the area as to their policy. Number 3, have the major differences between our Friday night services and Shabbat morning services delineated. Number 4, circulate a petition whenever possible to temple members with a concise statement of your aims and objectives. 5, have the matter brought up before the board, and if satisfaction is not found there, and you feel there is strong enough sentiment, petition for a special meeting, and let the congregation vote on it. This is a lot of work, but if you feel strongly enough about it, the steps will all have to be climbed. Please let me know your thinking on this matter. If you decide not to pursue it, please keep this letter confidential. Thank you.
He was being very political.
Hope to hear from you soon. Sincerely, Al Levinson, Executive Director. So, yeah, he was being very political, strategic, and also, I'm not running point on this thing. I could lose my job. If you feel strongly about it, you take it on. That's a strategy we use frequently, actually, and not just for controversial matters. We really need a fundraiser here. Okay, I'd love for you to plan one. Sorry, I meant for somebody else, right? This is a pretty frequent thing. It's a complaint and something somebody wants to do, but they don't actually want to do them themselves. And in this case, it's not easy. You know, she's going to go around. She's probably going to make enemies in the congregation. It's a very controversial thing. And anyway, that's where we leave it in 1971, according to the files.
When did actually they have bat mitzvahs?
It's unclear. Okay.
That's what you said. It's unclear.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, but I mean approximately.
Larry, what do you know?
Roughly
Yeah.
what year?
Late. I believe in the late 70s. Yeah.
You know, I was teaching
Mid
Hebrew,
70s.
Hebrew school and bar mitzvah lessons here at that time in the late 60s. And it's just stunning to me in this conversation that I'm realizing that I taught only guys.
Yeah.
You know, and that I didn't even realize it at the time that there was a policy that just to show how completely narrow-minded just somebody going by rote can be.
Right, it's just what you accept the status quo as it is, and you're not necessarily questioning unless somebody comes along and does something.
And as a footnote to that footnote, I will say that my mom got on my case because she was in our temple in Los Angeles, she was the first female to have an aliyah ever.
Nice.
You know, so that was a great honor.
I love it.
I don't know
And Andy, what say you?
No, I wasn't here then, and I don't have a memory of Larry. Have you talked to Joe Budman about this?
No, I should talk to her. That's a good idea.
She's the one who's the
She was
first.
Thank you.
involved in this.
Yeah, good idea.
She was the first aliyah. I mean, obviously she was the first female president.
Right.
But you need to talk to Joe.
Yeah, good
about
point.
it.
Thank you. I talked to Aaron Paul this week. He didn't remember any of the details. Anyway, and Pinky and Agnes did, and now I will talk to the Budmans, and they will at least have one version for sure. I'm trying to talk to the Brats, but I have not been able to reach them because Rachel is one of the said possible first bat mitzvah. Yeah, Aaron. Yeah.
Another side note to the side note, Rabbi Benny Kahan bar mitzvahed me in Maryland and was my neighbor and rabbi back in the day. So.
Yeah, I love it, and I want actually just a digression there, which I should mention. So he was only here for 2 years, right out of rabbinical school. It was when first of all he's following Harold Schulweis. He's following Harold Schulweis while the demographics, Jews are moving out of Oakland, through the tunnel, and he gets blamed for everything. And he went on to have a very successful rabbinic career in Potomac, Maryland, where you became bar mitzvah, and even was one of the editors of the Slim Shalom, which is that's not its actual name, it's Sim Shalom 2, was the prayer book. Only had a 20-year shelf life, essentially, but from the late 90s to whenever not Mishkan Tefillah, Lev Shalem replaced it just a few years ago. So anyway, that's, he was quite successful, and he is now of blessed memory, but he was quite successful. The other rabbis that followed him had varying degrees of non-success. It was a tough. Yeah, it was a tough. I mean, again, the demographics were really hard here, and you tend to blame the rabbi when membership declines, there were a lot of really great people and hardworking people, but it was tough on all. They all have their stories. Anyway, for another time, we'll get to those. We'll get to that later. First, we're dealing with bar mitzvahs, and we'll see where we go next week. All right. Please rise for the Kiddush. Page 55. And we're going to invite Daphne and Talia and Jonathan and Michelle, come on up. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei b'riat ha'olam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishonu mitzvotav v'ratzamanu, v'shabbat kodsho v'ahavratzon hinkilanu, zikaron l'ma'aseh b'reishit, ki hu yom tevilah l'mikra'ei kodesh, zeker l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'charta, ve'otanu kidashta, migolamim, v'shabbat koshecha, v'ahava u'ratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh Hashem. Amen. Pass it to family members. We'll only have to hold out for about 12 hours and not getting sick, so. All right, at this time, if you are near your children or comfortable enough to bless the person you are standing with, we're going to put our hands on their heads and we say, Simech Elohim Kasari Kal Rachel Aleha, Yissimcha Elohim Kefraim V'chim Menashe, Yivarecha Adonai Mishmorecha, Ya'er Adonai V'lecha V'chunecha, Yisad Adonai V'lecha V'yasem Lecha Shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May God lift the divine face toward you and grant you peace. Amen. Remain standing for the Aleinu, page 57. Family can leave. Daphne, stay up. Be joined by Naomi, Eleanor, and Reuben, too. Come on up for Aleinu. It's on page 57. And we can start facing the ark on this one, too. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'atei gdula yoser b'reishit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzon, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'amah, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol ha'amonam, v'anachnu korim, U'mishpachim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamalchim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim v'yosei haaretz, u'b'Hashem yikaro hashamayim ima'am, u'shvinatu zo, v'galei be'romim, Eloheinu Eloheinu, Emet Malkeinu, Efetz Ulato, Kakatu V'Torato, Yadata Yom V'Hasherota, Elecha V'Lecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, V'Shamayim Mima'al, We may be seated. We lovingly recall the memory of our departed relatives and friends whose yard sites we observe during the coming week. Thinking especially tonight of Louis Adler, Rachel Alion, Abraham Bain, Philip Baker, Charles Bernard Bernstein, Anna Cohen, Tilly Cohen, Gail Dorter, Nathan Feldman, Molly Forkas, Avram Mendel Goldberg, Eleanor Goldberg, Sarah Goldberg, Edward Gordon, James Jonas, Diane Kleinman, Sue Kraft, Harry David Levine, Arnold Bliss, Bernice Lobel, William Miller, Susan Moore, Samson Noor Omid, Nathan Pulse, Ida Puro, the incomparable Henry Ramick, Jacob Rubin, Jacob Sadian, Sarah Schmulewitz, Edith Schultz, Lily Schuhalter, Lloyd Silver, Harry Simon, Frederick Harland Spector, Howard Morse Spector, Harry Tessel, Beatrice Toas, Daniel Wasserman, been a year, Arthur Yarman, Phyllis Zangwell. We're in the Shloshim for Sarah Barish, the mother of Mark Barish. We offer our condolences to David Disco, the father of Matthew Disco, and our thoughts are certainly with you, Matt. And this Sunday, there will be a funeral service for Alex Kaufman, the son of Richard and Audrey Kaufman, who, as I think most of you know, died tragically in a car accident this past weekend on 280. The memories of all of them are with us. We ask all those who are in mourning or observing Yorkshire, as well as anyone else who would choose to do so, to rise for the mourner's Kaddish at this time. Page 61. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'alman yivrach yiruteh v'yamlik malchuteh v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye lechol beit Yisrael v'galal v'zman kari v'imru amen yechnei rabbah mivorach le'olam le'olam maya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbahar v'yitnormam v'yitnaseh Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shmei Kutsha, Barichu, Le'ela, Min Kol Berchata, V'shirata, Tushbechata, V'nechamata, Damiran, B'alma, V'imru, Amen. Yehi Shlom Rabba, Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, V'imramah, Uyaseh Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. In memory of the people you come to Kaddish, may be blessed always. Let us.
Amen.
All right. So first announcements. Tomorrow services are at 9:30. And Daphne Gordon will be becoming bat mitzvah, giving the drash, leading Torah service, Musaf service, reading Torah, reading Haftorah. Looking forward to it all. Do you want to actually tell us who's here? Like where you have some guests here who came from out of town, other coast?
We have aunts, uncles, and cousins all from the East Coast. Boston, New Jersey, Florida.
Excellent. So welcome to all of you. I think there's two in the back there. There's a row right behind you. There are 2 rows right behind you. So welcome.
Welcome.
All right. And
No other guests?
everyone has been here before. If someone who hasn't been here much wants to introduce themselves, it'd be fantastic. But I don't know if they will. Andy, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I would like to introduce our very good friends, Nancy and Norman Price. We've been in the same Chabad together for 40 years.
Excellent.
Wow.
The other
Beautiful.
Kellys are relative newcomers at only about 10 years.
No, we're like 20.
It's 15 or 20.
Yeah. But still, comparatively, right?
Time flies when you're having fun.
Absolutely. If you're watching the live stream, comments have now been turned off for a while. We did get some inappropriate comments last week, so we're shutting it down for a while. I mean, until things calm down, they never will. But we were able to do it without really incident before. But since we can't actively monitor it as it happens, comments in live chat are now not available. It was really helpful, especially during the early days of the pandemic, especially for B'nai Mitzvah. It was great because no one could go, and there would be like 300 live comments about the kid, and we're from Budapest, we're watching. It was just amazing stuff. But anyway, not anymore, sadly. We have some exciting events coming up. we have on Sunday, Mishloach Manot bags will be delivered to every member of the congregation and a few more. Next week, we've got big weekend of activities. We've got Kitahei Share Shabbat on Friday at 6:15 p.m. I'm not sure whether that means services are going to be in the sanctuary or where do you, any guesses yet? Or
I'm guessing the sanctuary.
probably the sanctuary, because it's a fairly big class instead of in the chapel. Saturday night is, not tomorrow night, but a week from Saturday, is rock and roll Purim with our fabulous band that rehearses tomorrow. That's it. But not tomorrow, it's Sunday. It's gonna be a lot of fun though. And we've got parodies of I'm Just Ken and Taylor Swift's Blank Space, which I know isn't a new song, but anything Taylor Swift is popular at the moment. So
Yeah.
good stuff. I'm Just Ken is I'm Hey Man. And we shall see. And actually, it's very funny because there was a kid I was previewing with the village school kids. One of the kids says, that's the first song I've heard from Haman's perspective. So, it wasn't the intention, but
That's great.
that's what came out. It's very cool. Smart, very, very wise kid, though, this guy. Not a
And
surprise
Sunday
kid.
is Forum Carnival.
And Sunday is a Purim Carnival, a week from Sunday, with PJ Library at 2 p.m.
And we're stuffing the baskets.
Yeah, but it'd be people who know.
Find out what it is.
Okay. Closing song. So, who famous died this week?
I know.
Anybody know, besides Eli and Karen? He's Jewish, which you probably didn't know. I didn't know.
that.
I didn't know. Grew up in New York, and Eric Carmen. Eric Carmen?
People don't know who that is.
Don't know who Eric Carmen?
Yes, he was from the band
Raspberry.
He was in the Raspberries, but he was a solo artist. His hits were gigantic, the ones that he had. Maybe the one that was the number one hit. I think the number one hit he had was "Hungry Eyes" from Dirty Dancing. But we're not doing that one. We're doing perhaps an even more iconic one. And I'm doing it. I'm not trying to use his falsetto voice. It's going to be more folky than the way he does it. It is "All by Myself." So, how do we relate that? Of course, he realized. I mean, this is obviously tongue-in-cheek, but only sort of. It's because it's more about a love story. But what he must have realized is he can't pray alone. He had needed a minion to be part of a community.
Yeah.
No one wants to be all by themselves, and that's why Judaism demands a minion for certain prayers.
Beautiful.
That's our time.
We're all by ourselves against the world.
Well, there's that too. But we don't want to be.
But we're done.
When I was young, I never needed anyone. Making love was just for fun. Those days are gone. Living alone, I think of all the friends I've known. But when I dial the telephone, nobody's home. All by myself. That's the part you should know. Don't wanna be all by myself anymore. All by myself. Don't wanna be all by myself anymore. It's hard to be sure. Sometimes I feel so insecure, and love so distant and obscure remains the cure. All by myself, don't wanna live all by myself anymore. All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself thinking love was just for fun. Those days are gone. All by myself. Don't wanna be all by myself anymore. All by myself. Don't wanna be all by myself anymore. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Yashakova.
Should we dare? Motzi in the back. We've got Hala.